A criticism sometimes levelled at my photographs is that they look over-saturated. This is because I often have to supply to a market, for example, calendars, as we see on the table. Now, might be dismissed, of course, as a chocolate box, but then remember, that is how I earn part of my income. But this is not the final say as to how I present my images. Because I save to RAW and therefore cut out the processing, which is normally done in camera, then that is a matter I do myself in post-production. And in this respect, I use Adobe Lightroom. Now here, for example, is a RAW file out of camera, unprocessed. The colors look a little flat, but I have complete control now in Lightroom as to how those colors should be changed and modified, hopefully to the benefit of the photograph. If you save direct to JPEG, and I've nothing against it incidentally, but because the picture is processed in camera, then it is much more difficult to change later. For example, have you ever accidentally set the white balance to tungsten for an outdoor scene without realizing it and then saved it to JPEG? Yes, I'm afraid I have done that. And I have learnt that it is very difficult to then get a natural color back into the image. But if I save to RAW and then do the post-processing later in Adobe Lightroom, for example, then it's easy to make that adjustment. What you can see on the screen now is a JPEG image, but it is derived from a RAW file. So if now or later I change my mind, I can go back to the original RAW file and start all over again. Furthermore, at least in Lightroom, when you make those changes, they do not overwrite the file. They are saved as a separate sidecar file. I think the suffix is XMP in Photoshop. So I can please everybody in the color saturation that I can provide from the original RAW image. After all, we all see color differently.